Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Welcome back. It has been a while. I have a free night off, so we're gonna start to look at some of the basics to Fusion 360. I'm gonna do a couple of things a little off from each other. We're gonna do some of the same pattern copying a few different ways to show how to do most of them, most of the common ones. If you're not familiar with CNC, this might be a little more difficult to keep up with because I'm going to reference the part in relation to how it's going to be made. So I'm going to treat my part in my X and Z like on a turret lathe. So hopefully that makes some sense. First thing you need to do is tell Fusion you want to either make a new part, create a sketch, or you can go to File, it'll open one you've already made. If you're watching this, we're going to start with Create Sketch. It's asking what plane do you want to draw in. Do you want to be in your YZ plane over here? Do you want to be in your XZ over here? Or in your XY here? So that whenever you're looking at it, you'd be in the Z plane. You'd be in Z looking down at XY. And that's the one that I want. So what we're going to draw is a tool holder to hold a drill station, a drill in a station of a turret lathe. Words are hard. I want it to do through cooling, so I'm going to tell it I want a bore down the middle, and we need it to fit a 2-inch diameter station. So all we're going to do is draw this up, extrude this. Now how did I do this easily? You have two choices. You have all your buttons up here you can use. You have a few hotkeys. So you can push C on your keyboard. It'll give you a center circle. And over here in feature options, you can choose a 2-point circle for if you want to choose your upper and lower extremes. 3-point circle if you want to do something and roll it about on your tangents between each other. So it's not one I use much. Another one you have is L for line, so it's just a straight line. R for rectangle. And I can sit here and drag the box I want to 2-inch and 2-inch respectively. Or you can hit R, drag it out where you want, and type in 2.5. Hit your tab key, type in 2.5, and it will tab back and forth. On a line, if you drag it out, you can hit your 2.5, tab, and this is now your degree box down here off of where you told it. If I drag this over, it comes 45 up on that side. Change this to 30. So you see, if I drag it over. So if you want it to be down here, it has to be 60. So it will not do it on every coordinate. It will only do it off of your horizontal plane that you dictated earlier. There. So I came up here, I hit my circle, put in my center circle for my bore at 343 for a 1/8" NPT. I did another circle on the same center at 2-inch diameter. Now we need to put some flats on here so that whenever we tighten our set screws onto the tool, it won't spin in the station. That would be exciting. So how I'm going to do it is I want to be 1/16 down from the tangent, 1/16 down, tangent 1/16 in on two sides. I can hit my line, and I will hit X on the keyboard. That turns this into a construction line. This line serves no purpose other than layout. This is like doing your layout, your blue layout fluid. So I'll drag two on the center. I will drag 2 lines from center to the outer edges 90 degrees, and it will snap where I want. From there, a couple of ways to do it. I'm going to draw a box from that center circle, and I can go 1 inch minus 0.0625, 1 inch minus 0.0625 if I want to be lazy, because I don't want to type in 0.09375. Now here we have 2 lines I just made. I have one all the way up and I have one down, and it's exceptionally hard to grab a hold of. So you can delete that, but it deletes the wrong one. May not be the end of the world depending on what you're doing. Or what I want to do actually, if I don't go too far, what I want to do is simply turn this line solid. I will hit X again. But now I have this space here that's a solid object to the computer. Well, since I had this selected, I hit my trim button and it cuts that off. I can do this. This is now red. That red will be cut off. The blue will remain. And it's done. If I do it over here, it's going to delete everything all the way around, because that line is not connected through. Don't know why I had to think. I will hit my L key again, drag my line, but I'm going to turn off that construction feature. And now when I drag it out, I have an X over my pointer. So that found the tangent, that found the meeting point, the intersect point from where I drew straight across. It only has that because I already put in my distances here. So if I would have told it to do 0.5, it'll drag that down. That 0.5 is controlled off of center to wherever this line was drawn the first time. It was way up here. This line was drawn relative to here, out. It doesn't matter how far, it's just out to the edge. So something to be very careful of in a lot of your better programs. They do control your length by whatever measurement you put in here. Just be careful. So now we have a finished little fucked up circle. Up here we hit finish sketch, and that will tell it that we now want to do another operation to this drawing. Our view cube, I just like this view. Our view cube will let us move this in space how we want, or we can click on any of the corners and it will snap to that angle view. I want to look at it from here because I'm going to be machining this in my X direction and my Z length on my machine. Come up here to the top, we have a few things. Extrude, revolve. We have create, which has a lot more options. We will get to some of these. I want extrude. I want to make this part taller. So we have extrude, thin extrude. I really don't use this ever. I don't need to. I'm not going to deal with that. Extrude, profile, it'll pick that shape. Because the circle here and this outer edge, it will pick everything in the middle. Profile plane, you can tell it how far away from something you want to be, or if you want it to go up to an edge. We won't worry about that. One side or two sides, if you want it to go out both directions. I do not. And you have symmetric, if you want it to be even. So, distance, 3-inch. Taper angle, you can tell this software to taper the part a little bit for draft angles and such, and I don't use it, I don't need it. Operation, new body, join, cut, intersect, new component. We'll deal with those later. What I wanted to do is make a new part. I want it to be a new thing. I don't want join, there's nothing there. Excuse me. I do not want join, there's nothing there. So that's not going to work. Cut, if this was a secondary drawing and I wanted to put a hole through this on a weird angle, I could tell it to cut out where that second drawing is at, and it would make the funny heart shape in the part. Intersect will do the opposite of cut. If I want to put a funny heart shape through here, it would keep, instead of making the heart hollow, it would just be the solid shape of that drawing. Not one I use very often. I don't usually need to. We hit OK, and now we have a solid shape of our turn diameter with our milled flat faces. Well, now we need this face. The reason I'm drawing in this way is because this is going to be my diameter cut here, and this bottom face here is going to be what I'm holding on to in my spindle. So in doing this, I can create a sketch and select this face, and I will extrude everything down. By extruding down, I can draw this how I'm going to hold it, do all my indexing, do all my flipping, and when I do my machining, when we go up to do our cam machining, this will be oriented correctly how I want. So create sketch, click this face. I could, in theory, select this one and it will work, but the 0 point of the software is wherever you start. So this is the origin right here, not up here. If I select this, that's still the origin. That's just where I want my sketch to be. Select that face, flip my cube, and now we continue. We will go out 3 inches. Circle, we will hit C, circle, 3 inches. And all I'm going to do for this one right now is extrude this out. So if I select here and I extrude out 1 inch, 1 inch, it should leave me a hollow cavity, and both parts are actually not connected. It's a new body. That's not entirely helpful. So I'm going to go back, hold shift, select that face, and now we see it says join. So now these two parts, once I hit OK, will be the same. Now somebody out there might be scratching their head, how do I plan to get that close to the edge? I don't. I plan to use a radius end mill. So for this purpose, we're going to leave this. There is another way you could do this with different sketches coming in on the side, and you can put in a bevel there. Or we can simply fill it, that edge, with a 60th out. There. My little text box is in the way there. I can put in a 60th out radius. So now my end mill can come in, radius that out, whatever I get. In the meantime, my turn diameter can just radius out to match. That way they look kind of clean. And how I did that was up here in modify. Modify, press, pull. It's kind of like the extrude. Let's just play with it. So if I select this lets me just pull this face. But it does edit the drawing. It's, again, not something I really play with. I don't need it. I don't use it. Fillet, chamfer, shell. So if I wanted to go in here, I could shell this out to a 0.5 inch. And it's going to give me a 1/2 inch wall on the outside and the inside. So I have this void space. So if I make this 1/4 inch, it actually makes the cavity bigger. And it does it for the entirety of the part. So kind of a neat one if you have a use for it. It is kind of fun to play with. Shell, draft, more like draft angles for molds. Scale if you want to make this thing bigger. How much bigger do you want? 1.5. 1.5 based off of that point. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. Didn't mean to click that. Damn it. A couple other things in here. Again, I don't tend to use these. They're not pertinent to what I do. What we will do is chamfer these edges. Eh, 20 thou. Now we have 20 thou chamfer just to avoid ripping people's fingers apart. And if the machine can do it, better. I don't have to. So now we need a weird pocket in this space. So I'm going to select this face. My origin is still back here, but I want this face. I don't want to be drawing up into the part. One, it's a little hard to look at. Two, I want my pocket based off of this. This will be my datum control. So I will come from the center, hit R for rectangle, so we can make our box. I'm going to hit X for a construction line. And I'm just going to make a 1x1 box. But that's too close to the edge. So we'll get to that in a minute. Maybe we'll go 0.75, 0.75. Okay. Again, 2-point rectangle. This time I will double that since I'm going to all sides. Now it doesn't look so bad. It looks like the square is a little small for what I want. So if I go back and I click on my dimension values, I see 0.75. And I can change that to 1. Change this to 1. Come on. I can change both of these to 2. And now, why I like to do it this way, I can select my larger box, hit X, and now it's a solid piece. Up here, modify, we have our fillet. We can select any line we want, and we can radius this here. So I'll select this one and this one, since these are going to be the harder two to select because it'll try to pick these as well. And I'll just put in a 1/8 inch radius for a 1/4 inch end mill, or a 1/4 inch radius for a 1/2 inch end mill, and it changes up my radius right there. I can go down, select this one, and just move all the way around. Hit enter, save, and now it has those. They're all nice and round, so I can come in and pocket that out. So now we need a way to hold on our mating part to here to make this, to fix it. I will do line, hit my X key, make it a construction. I'm going to bring this out 1.25 inches, and we will bring this up about 20 degrees. 20 degrees, 1.3125 inch and 5/16. Bring up my circle, draw that out, and I can see if I do a 1/4 inch bolt, that starts to get pretty close to that edge. Yeah, fairly close, not too bad. Select that circle, I can hit X, make it solid. Cool thing we can do is go to create circular pattern. I can select that, select my center, and I can copy it all the way around. Now I have 4 holes evenly spaced 20 degrees off of 90, and datum, controlled with these flats as well. I can hit extrude on those 4 holes. This time I will do on the distance tab, all, and that will pop holes through this part. And we can flip this whatever way we want. We will hit enter, and now that is hollowed. Our box in the middle went away. It disappeared. So that the fusion will turn off that sketch, even if we don't want it to. Simply come up here to all your icons, to all your drop down boxes. Under sketches, you can turn on whichever one you were just working with. And and it is in order. So I can sit here, turn off the one I used to make the large diameter, and I can turn off my original, just have my third. And you need this because we still have to make this pocket. So this is in distance, and it was drawn going down. That was its positive direction. So if I do 0.5, it's going to pull it out. So I need to go minus 0.5 to make it hollow. Turn off the sketch. Now we have a pocket, the part. Pretty easy. So now I need to put 4 holes in the side of this. So I'll do sketch. I can pick this face, but I'm now looking through the part. So Control Z, get out of there. Instead, what we can do, go to Inspect, Section Analysis, and we can pick that face. And everything from that face back towards you is not deleted, it's just hidden from view. So now we can create this drawing, but we can't select this face anymore. It won't let us, since now the part's been modified slightly to change the view. Not a bad thing. We can hit our analysis, turn that off. Same thing under drop down. And now we are on our face. We just have to do it a little backwards. All you're going to do, create sketch, select the plane you want. It's hidden from view, analysis drop down, section view. You can use this to just get the middle of the part. Kind of a neat thing once you learn how to use it. I do like it. Almost did it out of order since I deleted what I did. Turn that off. Our origin point is still where these two separate drawings met. I'm still going to go from there, and I'm going to put a hole. Turn on that. If I select that point, come down 3/4 of an inch, select my circle, turn off construction, put a 1/4 inch hole, and now I have that ready to be pushed through. I don't want to go that way, I want to go the other way, so I'm going to hit flip. Now I have a hole through there. What I don't have is a hole through any of the other three. So just like in a sketch, we can pattern this out. Create, pattern, circular pattern. Go up here to object type. We're going to choose faces. That circle, that is a face in this regard. And what axis you want it to rotate around. So you can choose. You can choose the your coordinates. It's kind of a pain, but you can choose any feature you want to. And in this case, we've been doing this about the center of that origin. So I will simply pick my center. It will copy it. In this case, 3 times. I want 4. And you can tell it to do either part way, 180 degrees. It'll put it way too close together. Or we can say full or symmetric. So it will only go that far, kind of in a little fucked up pattern. I don't use this often. Yeah, so if you tell it to do a even number of holes, it actually doesn't do as well as an odd number. Odd number holes do work better. Because now they're all even. Again, I tend to stick with just this. Now we have 4 holes in this part. These are all 1/4 inch holes and they can all be threaded the same, but why would I do that? So instead what we'll do, 2 different threads, 1/4 20, 1/4 28. So these will be 1/4 28. And the one thing I have, which you probably don't, is I have a plug-in to let the software model the threads for me. So I can actually do that and I can see the threads. And you can get it, it's a simple download, it's not paid for or anything. Those are 1/4 28. These 4 why won't you let me select? There. It wouldn't let me choose for a minute. These will be 1/4 20. There is another way you can do this, and I'm going to delete these first ones. I'm going to find where my original thread was. And what I'm going to do is thread this. I'll go back to my pattern and I will, down here, I will move that thread I just made in front of this pattern. So this way, I can click on it. And now, it will copy my, oh, come on. And now, really? This is where you have issues? Well, I guess we'll just cut that out. Now we're done. I don't have pipe taper threads in here. Don't know why. But this will be a 1/8 inch NPT type of thread. I really wish they had it. Yeah, metric. So we're going to make this a British standard pipe instead. So British standard pipe, 1/8 inch, 28 threads per inch. Instead of doing full length, I'm going to do a partial, 1/2 inch deep, and that's it. Why we don't have standard pipe, US standard pipe threads, I don't know. There it is. That is the part. I made a few of these. Well, I've made a few of them by now. Except for the hiccup with that thing not wanting to copy the threads. There might be something I have turned off. Might be giving me issues. Yeah. Nice and easy. Hopefully this shows you a lot of the common controls. And with just what you saw me do, you can do all this easily. Minus the thread, you'll need a plug-in. It's not that bad. And it's simple. I can kill a couple minutes. We'll go down to manufacture. And from here, we can tell it, we can tell it what kind of stock we're using, how much to add to each side or how much we want. If we want it to be a specific shape or not, all kinds of cool stuff. We're not going to do that right now. We will get into this in a different video. This has its own issues. And on some of this will be a pain in the butt because I'm probably going to use a mill turn and I don't have the ability to really do a lot of that with this software since I don't have this specific profile purchased. So I do have some limitations. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Hopefully it helped a little. Take care.
As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.